Hey everybody, happy Sunday fun day. We have had a lot of windshield time today from Kingston up through Harriman into Oliver Springs, and then I'm just now leaving Cosby, good old Cosby, Tennessee. Very beautiful little town, actually a really nice listing that'll be coming up there in a couple weeks. Don't really know a whole lot of people who live in Cosby, but yeah, it'll be a nice, very nice list. Wish it was actually in an area that we run a lot with a lot of buyers. So I think I'd have a lot of buyers interested, but it's out in good old Cosby. So, want to get right into what this video is about. Obviously, you read the caption. I don't remember exact words that I used, but we got reported. I think it was last week, to the MLS board, who then reached out to us for some clarification on our touring agreements. I've done a ton of videos on this. I've done a lot more with the rule changes in August. So I've done a lot more, August, September, October-ish, as everything was kind of changing, and touring agreements and explaining to buyers like what you have to sign, what you don't have to sign. So I haven't really talked about this in a while. But we made the decision on our team, all right? And this is what's unique, is any agent can do whatever they want. It doesn't mean, that an agent is bad for wanting to do a buyer's rep contract. And it doesn't mean that they're bad if they want to do a touring agreement. However, what I will say, for very sales-driven people, the agents that are very sales-focused, the teams that are very sales-focused, the brokers that are very sales-focused, it is in their interest to get you in a contract you can't get out of, or pay to get out of. And these buyer's rep contracts, we're still pretty new, but I have personally seen retainers. I've seen pay per showing, and I think most of them though are pretty regular, meaning just involving probably a 6-month year contract, and you're obligated to pay them X amount upon finding the home. And usually they're going to negotiate that to be paid by the seller, which is fine. But if the seller is unwilling to pay that, you are agreeing by signing that to pay them no matter what. So keep that in mind. And I say all that to circle back to what we do with touring agreements. So pre the August rule changes, we never did any agreement up front. We never had to. We go out and meet people on a handshake. Kind of like our stuff is, we want to try to make a friend, and then from there, we want to help them find the right home that works for them, whatever home they're looking for. That's our only goal. We're very no sales, just service driven, right? Our slogan, motto, whatever you want to call it. Help enough people, the money will come. That's a lot of what we live by. So for us, being a very large team, I mean, at this point, it was 2 weeks ago, I was doing some numbers. We're now like a top 5 team in the state of Tennessee. Number 1 by volume team in East Tennessee right now, which is crazy to think of this journey. And now it's what we've grown into. We're 18 people. We have a pretty good presence on social media. Between all of us combined, and I think the most important thing is we are not focused on sales. We are focused on helping people, and by doing that, we end up pissing a lot of agents off, and it's because they want to work less and try to actually sell homes versus focus on helping people. There's a lot of great agents out there, never knocking it, but this is the situation. So one of our agents went out. And of course, when we meet you, I'll tell you our business practice. I don't care. Other agents can steal this. It doesn't bother me. When we meet people, strangers, right? We do a 1-day touring agreement. It's just for 1 day. It ends. And sometimes it's not even a full 24 hours. It literally ends at basically 11:59 p.m. that same day. There's no charges. There's no cost. But it beats all the guidelines for the touring agreement. You don't pay us anything, and it ends. So that's what we do. And then of course you come back and say, hey, you know what? I got to go left here. We really like you, want to work with you. We'll do that same touring agreement. We'll just put it for 6 months. In that touring agreement, it says you just provide anything in writing, text message, an email, a handwritten letter that says, hey, we don't want to work with you anymore. That lets you out of the touring agreement. It's not a contract. It's not enforceable. There's nothing we can do to enforce you not to work with another agent at all. That's how we want to do business. That's how we feel is the best way to serve buyers. We don't feel the best way to serve buyers, especially strangers, is to make you get under contract with us. There's a complete stranger that you don't know whether we're going to be a piece of crap or not, because there's a lot of pieces of crap in this industry that don't answer their phones on evenings and weekends. They don't show you homes. Again, they're trying to pressure you into doing and making a bad decision so they can get a payday. We don't do that. And by not doing that, we have a spotlight on us by a lot of people that hate the way that we do business practice, because the more people that know that, the more people that know that you don't have to sign a buyer's rep agreement to look at a home is beneficial for us. It is not beneficial for them, because they're trying to get you under that 6-month contract. So anyways, we got reached out to by kind of like, I'm just going to call the rural enforcement lady at the MLS. We had to provide proof of the buyer's touring agreement, because situation, our agent met them, did a touring agreement just for the day. Come to find out, really couldn't get, like, pre-approval situation wasn't really working out for them. Ended up having a good relationship with the people, and I think they're going to try to buy in like a couple months. Well, or like 6 more months. Well, I think a couple months went by, and again, this is my understanding. Those people like reached out to another lead platform. I think they'd lost our guy's number and said, hey, I want to go see this house. They went and met another agent, and that other agent tried to make them sign a 6-month contract. That buyer said, no, I'm not signing that. I didn't have to sign it with the last person I went and see, and they said, oh, who's this person? Of course, they said who it was, agent on our team. And then they went back and told their broker, like they were title telling, like, that's illegal. It's not. It's perfectly legal. It's perfectly legit. To me, it's the way it should be done versus the damn contract. So went back, told us. So yeah, we had to provide this. If we weren't able to provide that, that is a fine. That is a big fine. A big no-no, because of this rule change that happened in August. So we have to do that. Our agents on our team, if you don't sign that agreement with us, we will not let you in the house. The reason is because of the situation here. We don't want to get fined. We don't want to know if somebody's secret shopping us. We don't want to know if somebody's planting a seed because they don't like the way we do business, to make sure that we are doing business. All right, I'm back. But yeah, so, and we talked about this in our last team meeting, that we definitely have a spotlight on us because of the success that we're having, the amount of people that give us reviews, the amount of people that want to work with us, the transparency, and everything. And I just wanted to come on here and talk about it. We don't have nothing to hide. We want to do business, and we want to do business with people that want to work with us, not because we got them to sign a contract and did a timeshare presentation and bait and switch, right? We explain every document. Our process, you get under contract with us, our operations team is going to call you, explain every document you're signing. They're going to answer every single question that you have, let alone our agents are doing this as well. But we're hitting it from both sides to ensure everybody understands. You do any type of business with us, we walk you through the numbers. We make sure you have a great understanding of the numbers so there is no miscommunication. Well, again, miscommunications happen, but as little as miscommunications that can possibly happen. But that's all I'll tell you. If you're a buyer, you do not have to sign a buyer's rep agreement to see a house. You do have to sign at least a touring agreement. That is true. Nothing I can do about that. We will not let you in that house without that touring agreement. So I say all that. And geez, I was going somewhere with that, and I just lost my train of thought. But anyways, we were able to prove it, able to show it, and then that buyer, we got a hold of that buyer again, and they were actually saying that how this other agent was harassing them, was following up, was texting them, blowing up their phone, to the point where they actually had to block their number, and they asked us, like, how do we file a complaint? I said, hey, you just got to call the MLS. We're not getting involved in that. If you want to file a complaint on this agent for harassing you, you can. But I thought it was, funny in a way of how this is done. Now, I will say, that's where I was going. I will say, when we put in an offer, and again, along the way of this relationship, we're telling you how all this works. We're telling you how the game is played, because we do a buyer's rep contract whenever you put an offer in. We have to do that. That is required. Can't represent you without a buyer's rep contract. So what we will do in our buyer's rep contract, I don't care to explain this too. There's no secret sauce. I'm not hiding nothing. We actually will put that in. But we put it in the special steps of the buyer's rep agreement that it is only for that home, right? So we put that offer in, you get that home, ends up in a fall through, or you don't get the offer, you are not obligated to move forward with us on the next home. You're not obligated to move forward with us to represent you at all, as it is only for that single address. And I think people, when they understand that, really appreciate that. Also, there are crazy people out there, and there is times when us as agents deal with a lot of crazy people. And I also don't want to have to represent and try to help somebody that is absolutely a lunatic and crazy. So it also doesn't tie us into representing you moving forward if you're a lunatic. So it kind of wins. It's a win-win both ways for us. We kind of feel we're more on the handshake side, the relationship side of the business. People know we're there to help them, and therefore they're going to want to do business with us like that. So yeah, just want to kind of make a video and explain it. You do have to have a buyer's rep contract to put an offer in. You don't have to have one to see a home. But as always, you got questions, holler anytime.